Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to DBA Information Seminar of PolyU Business School. Please be note that this information seminar will be recorded and uploaded to the study at PolyU website after the event. I'm Wilson Tong, the director of the DBA program. Let me tell you the program rundown this afternoon. So I'll make a brief introduction about the business school and the program. And the major part is Professor Patrick Choi, who is the deputy director of the program, will go into details to introduce our DBA program structure. And then after that, then we have two distinguished alumni to do the sharing, to share their rich experience in going through the program. Is Ms. Christie and Dr. Bernie Wong. And after that, then we have half an hour of Q&A session in case you have any questions. Again, I'm the program director, and Professor Patrick Choi is the deputy program director. By the way, I belong to the Accounting Finance School of Accounting Finance, and Professor Patrick Choi belongs to the Department of Shipping and Logistics. And I'll go through this later about the structure of the Faculty of Business. Essentially, the DBA program, you experience the learning in a supportive environment. Now, Faculty of Business has its core value, which is represented by the acronym of IDEAS. IDEAS stand for Innovation-Driven Education and Scholarship. With the 3D focus, the 3D stands for Discovery, Design, and Delivery. As I just mentioned, PolyU Business School consists of one school and two departments. The first school is the School of Accounting and Finance that I belong to. And the second one is Department of Logistics and Maritime Studies, where Professor Patrick Choi belongs to. And then we have the Department of Management and Marketing. And in PolyU, one culture is that we commonly use acronyms. So instead of this long name of the department and school, then we have AF stand for School of Accounting Finance, LMS stand for Department of Logistics and Maritime Studies, and MM stand for Department of Management and Marketing. While you may have a question of why you have one school and two departments, actually there are no distinction except that the AF somehow is a very big department. We consist almost 100 faculty members. So that's why we call it school. But actually, in terms of the structure, essentially, we can call it, we are at the same level that we have 3 school and department under the Faculty of Business. Our business school is quite a comprehensive business school. In a sense, as I mentioned, because we have a large number of faculty members. So actually, we are one of the largest business schools in Asia. And current number of students around close to 5,000. And we have over 54,000 alumni. By the way, PolyU celebrated the 85th anniversary. So we have a long history. So that's why we have so many alumni. And we have over 170 world-class scholars from all over the world. Remember, it's 170 world-class scholars belong to the Faculty of Business only. Right. So in terms of number of faculty level top postgraduate programs, we have many. We have 9 and doctoral level programs, and accounting and finance have 8, logistics and maritime studies have 5, and management and marketing have 3. And then our business school earns different rankings, I should say top rankings in respective areas. For instance, one ranking on the shipping research, we were actually #1 in the world. And then in terms of management marketing, according to another ranking that it ranked #1. And so you have different types of rankings. We consistently stand very high in the ranking. And other than Asia type of rankings, we have international ranking, the US rankings, we always rank very high. And I need to emphasize the last column, that is well-recognized ranking offered by American University called University of Texas at Dallas. And they rank business schools, and we PolyU business school rank all over the world is 63. That is very impressive. And another way of looking at the quality of a business school is the accreditations. We earn 2 accrediting bodies. One is called AACSB, stands for Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business, and that is an American accrediting body, starting from the U.S. top schools, ranking business programs in the U.S. and now all over the world. And we get accredited by AACSB. That is one achievement. The other accrediting body is ACWIS. ACWIS belongs to the European accrediting body on business program as well. And we also earn the accreditation. So that's another dimension other than the ranking about the research, productivity and quality. And another achievement is reflected in earning accreditation from this well-known international accrediting bodies. And our DBA program has one element that other than the school or classroom type of teaching, and then we once in a while we launch a different type of webinars, seminars to let our students have more exposure to industry leaders. So here are just a few photos represent some good speakers, renowned speakers in the business area, just like Mr. Raymond Chow, who is the PwC partner in charge of the Greater China area, its chairman. Mr. Stephen Lee is the founder of MoneySQ, that is belongs to the first type of fintech activities in Hong Kong. And below, I would like to particularly mention about Dr. Jimmy Jim and Dr. Yin Tao Li. They are all our DBA distinguished graduates. Jimmy Jim heading the global market of ICBC, and Dr. Li is the partner of the capital market in Ernst & Young. That is about the introduction of the Faculty of Business. The PolyU DBA program actually have a few objectives. Essentially, we have 3 objectives. So one is broaden and update and deepen students' knowledge in business area. And because nowadays we're going to the digital era, so our DBA programs update with the current movement, and then introduce digital element into the program to enable students to appreciate the digital transformation in the business world. And second objective is to acquire an in-depth knowledge of specialist area. So you come from different areas with different focus. Some will be in the management area, some will be marketing area, some will be fashion design, you name it. And then you go in-depth knowledge in your specialized or interested area. And the last one is important because after all, it's a doctoral program that every of you have to go through a doctoral thesis. So that's why one objective of this program is to help or sharpen students' ability to conduct original applied research. And of course, we always focus on the ethical element in the business world. So that is another objective of our program. And our aim, we have a slogan called Train Scholar Leaders. So we aim to educate senior executives to be scholar leaders who are able to apply research findings in solving real-world management problems. So we believe many of you are already leader in your respective areas, but going to the PolyU DBA program, we want to convert you to a high level to be a scholar leaders. And by this, that is through the process of integrating academic study with management practice in a way which will form a significant part of an individual's business career. Now, why you be interested, or I would like you to consider joining PolyU DBA for several reasons. We have the aim and objective of scholarly training. And then we also have a world-class group of scholars, as mentioned earlier. Through this program, we introduce the state-of-the-art research and methodology techniques and cutting-edge interdisciplinary research. That is very important nowadays when we're going to the digital era. By nature, everything seems to be very cross-disciplinary. So our DBA program started well, that we focus or emphasize on interdisciplinary study and research. And then whoever entering the program, you confront with a pool of qualified and experienced supervisors. Qualified in the sense that the supervisors, as I mentioned before, why we talk about the ranking of our faculty members' research productivity is essentially to let you have a flavor that your supervisors are qualified, they are top researchers. And they are quite experienced in the sense that our DBA program actually is run for over 25 years already. So our professors, actually experienced supervisors, they have been supervising DBA students for quite some years. And related, of course, is the publication in national top-tier journals, right? And now, these journals are not published by faculty members, but actually published by our DBA graduates, right? So, so our top scholars supervise good students and turn their thesis into journal publications. And we emphasize this because we believe that is another career path of all of the students entering the program, because other than successful in your respective business areas, your name will be put in your published paper in a national journal, in the sense that it is forever and ever. You should be proud of that if you publish this, and you can tell your children that your achievement, right? So that's why. And this is a list of journals that you may not be familiar with, but after you enter in program, you know that these are very good, even some are top journals in areas like in management. The Academy of Management Journal, for instance, is a top journal in the management area. And then you have marketing, like the Journal of International Consumer Marketing, that is another area of journals, and then the Journal of Corporate Governance, and Journal of Banking Finance in the finance area, right? Another reason that you want to consider PolyU DBA is we are the market leader. As I just mentioned, we are the earliest DBA program in Hong Kong. We have run over 25 years, remarkable success. And actually, because of the success, we actually, well, I guess around 20 years ago, we introduced the equivalent of the DBA program in the mainland China. We call it Doctor of Management Program. And this program is recognized by the Ministry of Education in China. So it's another achievement. Because of this, so we have a strong and large alumni network across the mainland, Hong Kong, and global, because the DBA program emphasizes internationalization as well. And for your information, other than the DBA and the Doctor of Management I mentioned, we actually introduced 4 years ago the first, again, it's the first Doctor of FinTech program in Hong Kong. And I believe it's so far still the only one in the world. And the reason is simply because, as I keep emphasizing, that I believe all of you understand or aware of so-called the digital era enter into the world. And then the Hong Kong government emphasized a lot of this digital transformation. So a few years ago, we already sensed the importance of this wave. So that's why we introduced the Doctor of FinTech program. And don't confuse that. This is not a technical FinTech program. You can view it as like a kind of branching out from DBA with the focus on FinTech area. So you may be interested in this, right? So I'm going to talk about so many of this, and these are some of our distinguished alumni working in different areas as leaders. I won't spend time to go into detail, then you can read it by yourself. And then if you look at the breakdown of how big the alumni network is, then roughly the figure is the DBA in Hong Kong is 400. Now, DBA mainland is a transitional period, so that's why we have this. And this DBA mainland converted to Doctor of Management. So that's why you see that the third row is the Doctor of Management. We have over 200 graduates. And then we, as I mentioned, we launched a DFinTech a few years ago. So we have a few graduates now, and then we have current students. So all we have over 700 graduate and current students, right? So that is the achievement of the program. And then this is just a snapshot of the happy time that our DBA graduates going to the graduation ceremony. And that is just the past few months photos. That is the big event. So I guess that ended my part. And now let me have Professor Patrick Choi to go into details to let you understand the details of the PolyU DBA program. Professor Patrick Choi, please.
Thank you very much, Professor Tong. My name is Patrick. In the coming section, I'm going to briefly explain about our program structure and perhaps give you an idea what is the plan and how you complete your DBA program in 2 years for full-time as well as 3 years in part-time. First of all, the main features mentioned by Professor Tong just now, we have a well-structured and well-framed with high level of success rate in the last 26 years. Now, how we understand this, I just give you briefly about some data. As mentioned by Professor Tong just now, we have altogether, in the last 25 years, we graduated about 586 DBA graduates, which is a scholar leader, which is you can imagine about close to 600 already. In addition to this, on average, to give an idea, it's about 60 to 70% of the student in each year, I mean, each intake, they're able to complete their program in 3 years. Our program is credit-based, which means that in order to get your doctorate degree, you have to obtain altogether 51 credits. I'll explain to you later on what are the elements or components of the 51 credits. The teaching schedules is on we call it block teaching mode, which is possibly all the class will be scheduled and held on weekend. Why we arrange this? Because most of our students are actually from the senior management members, and most of them may have to travel or they have to be very busy during weekdays. That's why we arrange our program classes on weekend, or we call it weekend mode. Just in case if you have finished your residential workshop, 8 taught subject and phases 1, and then you may, due to whatever reason, you're not able to finish your final thesis, which is thesis 2. You are entitled to have an exit award, MSc in Management Research Study, after you are able to obtain 35 credits. Our program, we just mentioned by Professor Tong, we have 2 years and 3 years, so we call it mixed mode. Mixed mode means is the first element is a full-time study option, which means is you engage your full-time in studying our program. You are able to complete this doctoral program, DBA, in 2 years. We call it full-time. Another option is available to students is we call it part-time. It's part-time means is you are able to finish your program in 3 years. So you can see that 2 years and 3 years, it's up to you. You can choose whatever option that you are able to suit yourself most with reference to your study option and flexibility with reference to your workload, etc. So which means that this mixed mode is provide a flexibility. Then someone may ask, just in case if I'm not able to finish the program in 2 years to 3 years, what happened then? You can apply for extension after normal duration, but needless to say, according to subject approval. We just mentioned about mixed mode full-time. Actually, the full-time mode is start from this year. It's 2022 and 2023 academic year. We're going to be continuing next year, which is 2023 and 2024 academic year. So which means as we introduce this start from this academic year. Now you may ask why we have this full-time mode. It's because in the past, there are a lot of inquiries from local and overseas applicants. They ask whether they are able to have a full-time option with faster track to complete their program. That's what happened in the past. Then with reference to our successful record, well, we are confident right now we're able to launch a full-time doctoral degree. You can imagine you're able to finish a full-time DBA program in 2 years. That's why without this track record, right? So some university may not be able to offer that, but PolyU, because we have 25-year experience, we're able and comfortable to do that. And we are the first full-time DBA program in Hong Kong. So which means that if you are interested to study your DBA program in Hong Kong, we are the only options available to you because we are the only university in Hong Kong to offer full-time, not any other university. We are also the first professional and academic doctoral degree in PolyU that you're able to attain a doctoral level degree in 2 years. In PolyU and Hong Kong, we are also the first one. Needless to say, also Asia, we are also the first full-time DBA program as well. So you can see that, as I mentioned, just in case you want to study in Hong Kong for a DBA program full-time in 2 years, PolyU is the only option available to you. So why for this full-time program, perhaps is for any professional, business leader, executive, and prospective student from mainland Hong Kong overseas, in particular country in the Belt Road Initiative, you may find the full-time more appealing and suitable, which means you are able to engage your full-time to study the program and finish it in 2 years. This table try to compare the difference between full-time and part-time. Needless to say, for full-time is designed for 2 years and part-time for 3 years. If you're a full-time student, you can apply a student visa. This student visa allows you to have multiple entry during your study in the 2 years, as well as you can stay in Hong Kong with whatever length of time you're going to have. But in the case of part-time, it will be a multiple entry type student visa. Unlike the full-time, it's a full student visa. For this multiple entry type student visa, it allows you to come to Hong Kong every visit. You stay in Hong Kong for 3 to 5 days in Hong Kong, only for the purpose of studying this program, which means you cannot, after 2 to 3 to 5 days, then you may perhaps have to leave Hong Kong. So another features of visa is we call it IANG. IANG is an immigration arrangement for non-local graduate. It's available for full-time. Now, this immigration arrangement means after you finish your program in Hong Kong, non-local student, you can stay here in Hong Kong for 1 year. Needless to say, you can perhaps consider to work in Hong Kong, or you want to find a job in Hong Kong. The immigration law allows you to stay in Hong Kong for 1 year, but not the case of part-time. But needless to say, this arrangement is actually subject to the prevailing policy of our immigration department. Now, because of 2 years for full-time, now normally the arrangement is like this. Half of the time will be allow you to finish the top program, top subject, which means in the case of 2 years, if you divide by 2, which means it's 1 year, you're going to finish all your top subject. The remaining 1 year will be finish your thesis. So 8 top subject in 1 year, your doctoral thesis in 1 year, altogether is 2 years. In the case of part-time, it's 3 years, then you divide by 2. 1.5 years, you finish all your 8 top subjects. The remaining 1.5 years is for doctoral thesis. Now, because of this, I take an example in the case of full-time. You're going to finish the first year of 8 top subjects. So altogether, we have 3 semesters. So semester 1, semester 2, and semester. So 8 taught subject divided by 2. Most of the cases is to play safe, you're going to finish about 3 subjects per semester. In the case of part-time, normally we suggest you to take an average of 2 taught subjects per semester, so that in the case of full-time, you can finish all 8 taught subjects in 1 year, and then in part-time, it's 1.5 years, you finish all your 8 taught subjects. These are the program structure. We just mentioned about our program is credit-based. Altogether, you have to complete 51 credit. What are these 51 credit? First of all, the first part is 8 taught subject. Every subject is about 3 credit. 3 times 8 is equal to 24 credit. I repeat once again, 3 credit per taught subject. 8 taught subject means altogether is 24 credit. In this 8 taught subject, the component is, first of all, you have to attend 1 research-based compulsory subject, and then 2 or 3 research-based core subject. I'll explain to you what I mean by compulsory and core subject later on. You don't have to attend 3 core subjects, only 2 out of 3 research-based core subjects, depends on the type of research. Then finally, out of 14 elective and specialized subjects, you have to finish 5. So 1, 2, and 5 altogether 8 taught subjects. Now, in this 14 elective and specialized subject, we offer you 12 class subjects. Class subject means is you have to come back to PolyU campus to attend classes. We have altogether, at the same time, we also offer 2 non-class subjects. 2 non-class subject means is you don't have to attend class. I'll explain to you later on what is class subject, what is non-class subject. So which means it's just in case some of you is pretty busy, right? You may not be able to attend classes. You may consider 2 elective on the non-class basis. 8 taught subject, then you have to attend 2 workshops. The first workshop, we call it residential workshop 1. It's for the orientation of our program right before you commence your DBA, which means you can imagine if it's September, you commence your study. Normally, residential 1, before your study is about August or early September, we're going to have residential workshop 1. We'll give you a sort of orientation and warm-up to introduce and explain our program so you can better plan yourself. Needless to say, you can meet your classmate in that residential workshop 1. In the case of residential workshop 2, we have 2 credits. 2 purposes for residential workshop 2. The first purpose of residential workshop 2 is you present your thesis proposal, we call it thesis 1, to the panel member, so that the panel member can suggest the way for you to improve your thesis proposal right before you engage your time for your final thesis. We call it thesis 2. That's the first purpose. The second purpose is in this workshop, we're going to give you more insight and more knowledge and preparation work for your final DBA thesis. So you can emerge a residential workshop for 2 purposes. The first purpose is for you to present your doctoral thesis proposal to the panel member for further improvement. Second is to better prepare yourself. Then finally, that's the most important part. You have to engage in a DBA doctoral level thesis. Altogether, we have 24 credits, which include 2 components. The first component, the thesis 1, which is a thesis proposal for DBA R2 presentation. That's why you just mentioned about you're going to present your thesis 1 or thesis proposal in a residential workshop 2. That's the first component you present in a residential workshop 2. The second component is your final thesis. For your oral examination, we call it viva or oral defense. Again, you have to present to a panel member, right? They are the one to approve your thesis right before you can confer with your doctoral degree. Now, we must mention about we have altogether 3 semesters per academic year, right? Semester 1 and semester 2, we have altogether 13 teaching weeks. You complete your class in 13 weeks. In some semester, it's much shorter, only half, it's only 7 teaching weeks. Now, that's why we just mentioned about is non-class subject. Now, you can imagine if you take 2 class subjects, it is pretty tough in summer semester. So some students, they will prefer to take 1 class subject and 1 non-class subject so that you provide them more flexibility to suit their schedule. For example, you have to work, you have to travel, and then perhaps it's very busy in summer. So you don't have to attend 2 non-class subjects, but only 1 class subject and 1 non-class subject. That may suit your study pace. These are what we are going to offer to all of you. Compulsory wise, you have to take the business research, analysis, and design. Then you have 2 residential workshop and then business 1 and business 2. You have to take it. Then we just mentioned about you have to choose 2 out of 3 core subjects, which is econometrics method, qualitative research, experimental design, statistical analysis for management research. You only take 2 out of 3. As I said, it depends on the type of research. For example, you want to take managed type of research, you take qualitative research and experimental design plus statistical analysis for management research. But if you say you want to study some accounting and finance research, whereby you want to have analyze some secondary data, you may take econometrics plus statistical analysis for management research. We just mentioned about you have to take 5 electives out of 14 specialized elective. These are the boxes. These are all the 14 subjects. The first 12 are class subjects. You have to come back, attend classes. The last 2, we call it independent study in business and independent study in business, intellectual collaboration experience. Independent study in business means that you have to work out with your supervisor to prepare a study on something. It's just an independent study with supervisor. You don't have to attend class. For international study in business, international collaboration experience, you can either go to Lausanne or go to London to attend the executive training program. I'm going to explain for you later on. So these 2 independent study, we say independent study means it's non-class subject. So why we structure our program like this? This compulsory core or elective specialized subject, they purely on the research and purely driven by research and oriented for your doctoral level research preparation, purely to build up your knowledge to prepare yourself for the doctoral level thesis. Now, all doctoral level thesis may perhaps be somehow related to some theory. We'll also make a chance to be built all the theoretic support, fundamental concept, and core principle as a research foundation for your research, doctoral research. And finally, in all the classes, the subject lecture will share with you some classical and contemporary researches and academic study. So you can imagine all this subject, actually taught subject, is to try to help you to build your foundation and get yourself better prepared for your doctoral thesis. So which means that the purpose of this subject is to acquire comprehensive, profound research-based knowledge for conducting high quality and publishable research. Now, how we able to provide you or get the, in the case of your oral defense and oral examination doctoral thesis by the panel member, how they approve you, right? They have to look at your research or paper, your thesis, in a level that is in a publishable research. We just mentioned by Professor Tong is most of, quite a number of our student final thesis is actually published in academic journal. This we call it publishable research. Now you can imagine the qualification of your doctoral thesis to be approved by the panel member is subject to their examination to give a comment that your thesis is actually high quality and profitable level. Then they'll approve your thesis in order to be conferred with a doctorate degree. Now, one thing I would like to share with you is all these taught subjects, right, aiming at knowledge creation. Now, in the undergraduate, it is knowledge transfer. In a master degree is knowledge transfer and knowledge application. The third degree, somebody will describe it as really difficult. Reason because it's not only knowledge transfer, knowledge application, but most important part is knowledge creation. So that's why we just mentioned about all the subject is actually research-driven and oriented, right, to prepare yourself for a doctoral thesis. That is to say, your doctoral thesis, you have to prepare yourself that it's going to be knowledge creation. Now, our DBA program, all the taught subject will only be offered and delivered to DBA students. Unlike any other university in Hong Kong, you're not going to put in any master degree classes. Now, some universities in Hong Kong, they will put DBA students in master degree classes. We are not going to do this. So all these classes, because for the purpose of knowledge creation, they just purely provided by DBA students. We just mentioned about all these subjects, right? What are they? The first one is the research-based compulsory subject, which means you have to take it. We call it MM602, Business Research Analysis and Design. It's normally offered in summer semester in the first year. The prerequisite, you have to complete at least 5 taught subjects, but just in case due to whatever reason, you're not able to do that, but you would like to take MS 602, you can apply for special approval for waive for this prerequisite. We just mentioned, we have to choose 2 out of 3 research-based core subjects. How you choose this, as I mentioned, it depends on the research areas and topic, which include MM604, statistical analysis for management research, normally is semester 1 of the first year. Then econometrics method, normally semester 2 of the first year. And finally, qualitative research and experimental design is normally semester 2 in the first year. So you can imagine all these core subjects are actually over in the first year, so they can better prepare yourself. Then we mentioned about you have to select 5 out of 14 elective specialized subjects, out from 12 class subjects and 2 non-class subjects. Right, this 12 class subject is specialized elective, subject to your research interest. Some of you may be from finance, some of you may be from supply chain management, some of you may be from shipping. So which means that this 12 elective subject is actually provide to you to better suit what you're going to do in the research. So possibly, I mean, this 12 subject actually drawn from the 3 departments. We mentioned about, Professor mentioned about 1 School of Accounting Finance, 2 is Department of Management and Marketing, Department of Logistics and Maritime Study. Now, this subject is actually quite specialized in several fields and from a business discipline. So we are quite sure that, I mean, for this 12 subject, you're able to select the subject that most suit your research inclination. We also mentioned about 2 non-class subjects. Right. So in particular, as I mentioned, you have only 7 teaching week in semester. You can choose independent study in the business, normally in semester 2 of the first year, which means, as I mentioned, you just can simply appoint or work with a supervisor, then work out independent study, submit a report. You don't have to attend classes. The second is independent study in business intellectual collaboration experience, which means as in the first year, you can say during semester with 7 weeks, you can opt to go to an executive exchange program in Stanley or London. Again, you don't have to attend classes. You go there for 5 days, and then you come back to write up a report, then you can submit, then you already finished 1 subject. There is a possible progression pattern for your full-time and part-time. Now, first of all, in understand the whole idea about this table, right? So for full-time 2 years, the first year is you have to finish all your taught subjects. Average is 3 subjects per semester. In part-time, the first 1.5 years you finish all taught subjects. Right? Average is 2 subjects per semester. That is 1 year and 1.5 years for full-time and part-time correspondingly. So you can see that in the case of full-time, semester 1, semester 2, and some semester, year 1, full-time, you're able to finish all 8 taught subjects. 3 plus 3 plus 2, you finish. For part-time, you can imagine for your year 1, semester 1, semester 2, semester, and semester 1 in year 2, you finish all 8 taught subjects. This 1 year and 1.5 years. In the case of full-time, the second 1 year, you finish your thesis. So in year 2, semester 1, for full-time, you start or you complete your thesis proposal. Then you present your thesis proposal in residential workshop 2. Then the remaining 2 semesters, you finish your final thesis. And then you have to present to a panel member. They are the one who are going to approve your thesis to be conferred with a doctorate degree. In the case of part-time, you have 1.5 years, which will represent the semester 2, semester in year 2, and the 3 semester in year 3. You finish your thesis 1 as well as the thesis 2. That's the whole idea. But as I said, bear in mind, for full-time, the first year, you finish all 8 taught subjects in 3 semesters. And then for the second year, then you finish your thesis. For part-time, for first 1.5 years, you finish your 8 taught subject, and the second 1.5 years, you finish the thesis. That's the whole idea about this, we call it possible progression pattern. Residential workshop 1, as I said, it will be an orientation workshop. It will possibly held in August or September, right before you start the DBA program, so that you have a better idea, right, how to plan yourself, meet your classmates, you may have to form your study group, etc., right before you kick off your study in September. Residential workshop 2 is a research workshop or a thesis proposal presentation. Now, as I mentioned, I mean, for full-time and part-time, I mean, the time frame for finishing the thesis proposal or presentation, some are different. So for full-time study option, you'll be held in October, November of the second year, which is the first half years in the second year. For part-time, it will be held in May or June in the second year. That's for DBA residential workshop 2. We just mentioned about executive training program. We actually collaborate with 2 world-class business schools. One is IMD in Switzerland, Lausanne, right? You can opt to attend the executive training program in summer semester, right? If I'm not wrong, Chris, you have attended the also Bernie, right? Bernie, you have attended IMD. All right, so be perhaps is Chris can share with you her experience about attending this exchange. It's worth, right? All right, good. So if you say, oh, by the way, you want to prefer to go to London, you can attend the EEC in London School of Economic and Political Science in London, UK. You can also attend the class. I just take an example of a student, right? Because their kid is in London, now studying in a secondary school. So he said already he would prefer to go to London reason because at the same time he can also meet and join his family, right? It's your option. As I said, you just go to attend the executive training program, come back, write a report, then you can finish one subject. Right? You don't have to attend classes. It works because this kind of executive training program, you can meet world-class executive all around the world. I remember when the time when I went to Switzerland to attend IMD, right? Altogether, I met 350 executives all around the world. I mean, it's a good idea to build your platform as well as, build your networking. It's a good experience. So what about my part? Right, give an idea, the application, you can start applying now, just in case you're going to say you're interested in a program. The application deadline will be 30th of April. Admission interview, once you receive your application, we're going to assess and process and check everything. You'll be informed around 2 weeks, around 3 weeks, then you can attend an interview. So after you apply online, then you're invited to attend an interview. The offer will be made on a rolling basis. What do I mean by this? Once we find your application success and we find it suitable to our program, they will make an offer to you. So once our quota are filled up, we are not going to make any further offer. So which means is the earlier, I myself highly recommend. If you already decide that you're going to study our program, I encourage all of you to apply as soon as possible. So once you're suitable, they'll make an offer. Once the quota filled up, we're not going to accept any application or we're going to make any offer. We call it rolling basis. Residential workshop 1, I should do a little bit early, just for information to be back program commencement. As I said, is around August or early September. What we're going to do next after this information seminar. Now, just in case after attend information seminar, you have some question or you need to some consultation or advice from us, right? You can send us the email to our DBA program, then Professor Tong and or myself, then we'll meet with you either face-to-face or online, then we can provide you some academic advice right before you decide, right? We're going to do this program or not. But as I said, by appointment, you can send an email to arrange your academic advice. Now, from now onwards, it's our plan or normal practice. Every month, we're going to have some public lecture or seminar so that we can keep in touch with you. Now, just for information, in around March or April this year, we're going to have a seminar, right? Normally, after we conduct this every year, the seminar will be actually done by me in the past, is how to plan or prepare yourself to finish the DBA program in 2 years and 3 years, right? In this seminar, we'll give you more information about the whole program, more details so that you can plan yourself whether you're able to manage the program and handle the program. So around March and April, please pay attention to this. And normally, because you already attended the information seminar, we're going to invite you to join us, right? Please pay attention to this. Just in case you want to get more information, what I said in program structure, you can go to our program website with this QR code, or if you have already decided to our program, you can also access the QR code on the online application on the left-hand side. This is give you some encouragement, right? So which means it is the 2 batch of graduate we have done in the past. So just in case, if you say you have a question, talk to us. Or if you decide you can apply now and join us. I'm very sure All right. Once you decide to join us, based on your commitment, you'll definitely be one of our DBA graduates. So in the comment section, we are so pleased to have Chris Shea from our DBA student is a 220 intake, as well as Dr. Bernie Wong. We're going to have the alumni sharing. Right after their sharing, then we're going to have a Q&A section taken care by Professor Tong. Right now, I'm going to pass the next section is to give it to Chris, who's going to share her experience about our DBA program. Right. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Professor. Hi, everyone. My name is Chris, and I'm the 2020 intake. So this is me, Chris Shi. I'm a mother of two, a daughter. I need to take care of my husband. I've been working in the bank for quite a long time. And also I own a family business and oversees the operations. I'm a trainer in Hong Kong Institute of Banker. I volunteer a lot. In addition, I sales and I run a lot. I'm busy, but in 2020, I think, oh, I'm busy, but not busy enough. So I made a decision to take up more challenge in my life. And here I am. I joined DBA program in PolyU, and I am now a doctor-to-be. Hopefully, I'll be joining my graduation ceremonies by the end of this year. Fingers crossing. So here's my DBA journey in one chart. I'll call it, it is the DK curve, the Dunning-Kruger effect curve, okay? So before I joined the DBA 3 years ago in 2020, I was super confident. I was I got a first class honor degrees, engineering degree. I thought, oh, I definitely will master it. It's easy. And after I joined, the more I learn from the professor, the more paper I read, I realized that how stupid I was before joining the programs. Seriously, that's the papers that I'm going to read. It's all about a pile of papers and it's so knowledgeable. And I miss so many smart people and smart professors in the university. My confidence level start to drop, keep dropping. And I'm glad that I may probably pass the lowest part because now I started to climb up the curve. I started to gain back my confidence because DBA gave me the knowledge that I need. And hopefully I will be graduating on the top of the curve, I hope. But I would say that this journey is really, really memorable and is a lifetime benefits experience. So why DBA? Why PolyU DBA? There are many DBA programs around the world, and I actually did a research before I take up this challenge. I did research on the DBA program available in Hong Kong, and I realized that this is the first one in the region. I'm a trainer myself, and I understand that education is not about just rolling out the syllabus and creating something new. It's also about the experience and the fine-tuning process. The 5 years history of the PolyU DBA program actually gave it time to fine-tune the programs. And it proved that I'm right. I understand by my own experience, the PolyU, they did listen to the students and they fine-tune the program based on the student feedback. As a result, I have a very pressure experience because of this fine-tuning and because of this experience. And this is unique in Hong Kong by my own research. Maybe I'm wrong, but my research, my experience tells me that it is very suitable for a person like me, a busy person, and who wants to achieve more in my life. And also, the DBA programs help me to add a new perspective in my life. I'm very commercial person. I work in the commercial world for my whole career path. And with the DBA, I see a bigger world. It shows me a new perspective of the world from an academic perspective. So, for example, I work in the bank, and naturally I would take the accounting and finance side. And under the accounting and finance area, I can study accounting, finance, and financial services or economics. I can do research on investors, shareholders, employees, or even top management such as CEO, CFO. I can do research or study the trend of stock returns, stock volatilities, or the change of stock recommendation, for example. In addition, I can use this data to apply to different countries, different industry, or even different time periods. Lastly, I can help try to say study the short events on top of the effect of short events on such stock, on the stock returns, or on the impacts on investors. The short events could include, say, the new accounting rules, the enforcements, or some new things such as ESG or fintech. So with this DBA study, I realized that the world is big, and it really brings me a new horizons in my life. On top of it, I understand that we have already enough challenge in our life, and only challenge itself is not may not be that satisfactory. And with the PolyU DBA programs, I'm not only adding the challenge in my life, I also having fun. And as Professor mentioned earlier, we have the IMD program, and these are the photos taken this year in June 2022. That could be one of the most correct decisions I made to take the risk to go to the IMD program this year, because as everybody can remember, this year in June, actually we still have the COVID measures, and I've been through all these quarantines and the difficult measures during the trip, but we still went there, we made it. And during the trip, we are able to meet over 300 top executives around the world. And this opportunity is very unique. And I would say that in Hong Kong itself, I'm not able to have such exposures. But when I go to IMD OWP program, it does open my eye. And also I'm able to run along the yacht club just next to the IMD campus, and this is one of the most memorable experience in my life as well. So I put these photos in this presentation that is on the left hand side. I'm able to see the inspiring professors, and also I'm not mentioning this lovely site visiting trip along the way. So I will highlight these IMD programs to everybody who's trying to or who's planning to join these DBA programs. It is a must-go experience and must-go trip. It is not only the OWP program, but also our daily life. I'm not too sure your experience, but I haven't been in the campus for over 20 years. And I pick up my pen, and go back to the campus, and that experience is pretty cool. Also, we have a really good cohort network. When I say good, it's not only this from the business perspective, but also from the fun part. The 2020 cohorts, we have like monthly dining gathering. We find people who love hi-fi, so we have a hi-fi group. We find people who love whiskey and bar, so we have a whiskey bar group. Also, there is a PolyU DBA alumni associations, and I've been joining a lot of their events, such as the selling event, and for example, the site visits to the State Theatre in North Point. That is a once in a lifetime experience as well, because as you know that the State Theatre has been redeveloped. So the PolyU DBA program is not only, it does not only open the academic side of my life, but it also introduces a lot of fun part. And that is something I would appreciate a lot throughout this journey. Last but not least, I would say that DBA program may not allows me to find a better job. Okay, I'm not coming for here to get a degree to get a better job, but I'm coming here to create a better and enhanced version of myself. And I do appreciate that PolyU DBA journey does allow me to create a better self. And this is my inspiring story to share. Thank you. Now I'd like to pass the time to Dr. Bernie Wong, 2020 DBA graduates, to share more. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Chris, and thanks, everyone. This is Bernie. I just want to share my experience that I just had in the past 3 years here. And this is Bernie. I actually do digital marketing. I've been working in this industry for many years. I run my own digital agency, serving those brands on the digital marketing aspect. And as you can imagine, I'm just so get used to learn everything online. So 3 years before, I almost made a big mistake. Because before I commit to join the PolyU DBA program, I actually, because I just so get used to doing a lot of learnings online, so I did some research, and then when I choose a DBA program, I almost pick something like in an online mode. The criteria would be something like flexible, and I don't need to kind of attend in person. But a very good friend of mine who worked in the academic industry advised me actually the reputation and the credibility of the program is really important. So I finally make a smart decision that I chose PolyU DBA, and here you are my experience of the 3 years. I'm in the cohort of 2019, and then I graduate in 3 years. And for the orientation workshop, it was in Vietnam. So you see some of my cohort in the upper right hand side. Actually, we were enjoying a cup of Vietnam coffee after the workshop. It was a very nice start. And then, but don't expect that it's an easy journey, because during the 3 years, we need to have a lot of study. I did a lot of readings. I spent almost a lot of weekends in the library. Yeah, we had a lot of lunch after the class in the school canteen, but of course a lot of discussions after the class as well. So we built a lot of great friendship, and even some like casual discussions after class are quite inspiring, I would say. And the most important things I would say is the professional guidance from the faculty, the teaching staff, the supervisors. Because I think the history of PolyU DBA helps a lot. The teaching staff here do have a great experience on giving us support and guidance. We may have a very good experience in our industry, but when we talk about academic, when we talk about research, there's kind of a completely new perspective to us. So we really need some support and guidance. So this is a very important support from the faculty. And my study is about quite related to my what I'm doing. My study is about short videos storytelling at TikTok and Instagram. I finished my thesis in May of 2022, and then immediately I was invited by to present in a industry seminar together with those industry professionals, like a representative from Meta, from Instagram, to talk about short video. And after I finished my study, and actually I just back from Perth, I present my study in an Asia academic conference, ANSMAC, at Perth, to share with those scholars in the came from different part of the world. And then and actually I have another conference to be coming up. I will be presenting in February again as well about the study. So I just want to share is that actually what we are doing in the DBA program, the deliverables from the DBA program is actually up to the global standard, global academic standard. So thanks for those all those support from the faculty. As I mentioned, yeah, there are a lot of very great friendships and laughters, but Yeah, I would say that it's quite a challenging experience, but yet very rewarding because we learn a lot. We kind of learn how to combine our practical experience with the academic knowledge and create something new, and then we can bring it back to the practitioner industry. And I just want to share the 3 points that I love the most here. First of all, the brand and the reputation of the program really counts. So I'm not just looking for a title, but I'm just so proud when I finish the study. I'm proud to tell everyone that I'm actually graduate from the PolyU DBA, that the brand and reputation is really important. And again, the support and the experience of the faculty is really important. And one experience that I want to share is that during the conference that I attend, NSMAC in Perth, when someone asked where, actually my study was finished in, my thesis was finished in PolyU, then I found that they actually know the teaching staff and the supervisor and the scholars in the business school of PolyU. So I think the teaching and support from the faculty is truly important. And another thing is because of the history of the program, we have a strong alumni group that I actually benefit from that during my study a lot. And I'm now graduated. I'm definitely love to contribute back to this very important and smart community. So I think the strong network here is very important. So make your wise choice. I hope I can see you join PolyU DBA and enjoy your journey here. Thank you.
All right, I'm back, and thank you, Bernie. Thank you, Chris, for the great sharing. That I don't have the privilege to share. Also, thanks, Professor Choi, for giving a very informative discussion, elaboration of our PolyU DBA program. So at this point now, I'm here just for any questions that you may have. So feel free to let us know. Feel free to put your question in chat box or just ask if you have any. So if you don't have any question, but anyway, if you have questions, feel free to send us email. The last thing I would like to let you know is if you would like to receive more information or updates about PolyU DBA future activities, seminars, or workshops, please fill in your personal details and you scan this QR code. And so again, when you think about a program, then other than part-time program, we have the full-time mode as well. So give you another alternative to think about, different way of joining our program. All right. So if you don't have any questions, so that will be the end of our DBA information seminar sharing. So thank you for your attention and hope you will be interested in our program. Thank you.